Greetings viewers and subscribers. So in today's journey, we are going to be starting at Hopewell in the parish of Hanover. We are heading to Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. So sit back, relax and drive with me. Now today, we are going to be doing 2 videos on this channel. Later on today, we are going to be bringing you a roundup of crimes and incidents that took place in Western Jamaica and other areas on this channel. Effective today, we'll be carrying the birthday greetings on PNL Vlogs TV. So, coming up later, we are going to be carrying the birthday greetings over at PNL Vlogs TV. I'm going to drop a link in the description below so you can subscribe to it. Watch out for the birthday greetings later on PNL Vlogs TV. In this video, we are going to be talking about that young lady that you are seeing on your screen and her killer. Her name is Santoya Campbell. On Monday, January 26th, 2015, Santoya was 14 years old. She was a student of the Froome High School in the parish of Westmoreland. Santoya, she used to live at a place named Lagwood in the Withorn area in the parish of Westmoreland. More so, we are going to be talking about her killer. His name is Cornelius Robinson. He's popularly known as Mark. But from here on, in this video, we are going to be calling him Killa Mark. So, when you hear we say Killa Mark, you know that it's Cornelius Robinson that we are referring to. In January 2015, Killa Mark, he was 37 years old. He operated a photo studio at a plaza on Great George Street in Savlamar in the parish of Westmoreland. Santoya, like most young girls from the country, she was from a poor background. She lived with her mother and other family members at Lagwood. Killa Mark, he lived somewhere in Westmoreland. I won't say where he lived, and I'm sure you'll understand why. In 2015, Killa Mark was married and was the father of 1 child. He lived with his wife and this child. Killa Mark's mother also lived at Lagwood, near to where Santoya and her mother lived. Santoya's mother and Killa Mark, they knew each other from they were kids. They may have even gone to school together. Killa Mark's family and Santoya's mother's family, they share a close relationship. We're learning that Killa Mark, he used to give Santoya lunch money from time to time. We are also told that this was being done with the knowledge of Santoya's mother. Now, some people are going to take issue with that, but don't bash her. It is a fact that he used to give her lunch money to go to school, plus other things. In or about 2014, Killa Mark and 14-year-old Santoya, they became intimately involved. Now, I know that a lot of persons are going to be cussing out Santoya, saying that she's a little pitney, she shouldn't be involved in these things. You may be correct to a point, but let me tell you something. You see, wants and needs, it can lead to the biggest and most sensible person do all kind of things. Even some adults, they may be involved in some situations, and you will hear them saying, "Acho, me can't do any better, you know." Me wrong or me right? Yes, man, I am correct. Now, Santoya, she was in a position where, in her mind, she must be thinking, I give him what he wants, and I will get what I want. I'm not trying to condone anything, you know. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation. So please, I'm just telling you the reality. I'm not condoning it. In fact, I don't agree with it. Now, Killa Mark, we are learning that he was not using any form of protection when he was doing, you know what, with Santoya. Our information is that Killa Mark, he was the first person Santoya was being intimate with. So it's not like she was a bad girl. In January of 2015, Santoya, she missed her monthly cycle. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, man, she missed it. So, she told Killa Mark that she missed her monthly cycle. It is said that Killa Mark, he gave her some money to go and do a test. When she went and did the test, it came back. She was pregnant. She told Killa Mark that she was pregnant, and immediately, Killa Mark, he told her, you have to get rid of it. One of the reasons was, I can be arrested and charged for it. And two, if my wife find out, it got mash up my marriage. Santoya, she told him that she would have to think about it. Killa Mark was adamant. It's either my way or my way. Meaning, only one way. We are learning that Santoya, she spoke to at least two of her close friends and told them about the situation. Not sure what their reply was, but she speaking to them turned out to be the turning point in the investigation that was to come. Killa Mark, he kept calling Santoya, asking her, when is she gonna do what he had instructed her to do? She told him that she was gonna talk to her mother about the situation. The mother did not know that she and Killa Mark were intimately involved. So on Monday, January 26, 2015, Santoya went to Killa Mark's business place to collect her lunch money. When she reached the business place, customers were in the store. Remember, we told you it's a photo studio, so customers were inside there. When the last customer left, we are learning that Killa Mark, he locked the door and told Santoya to come in his office, let them talk. He again asked her if she is not ready to get rid of the belly. She repeated that she will first have to discuss it with her mother. Killa Mark, he got up very calmly, hugged her, and held onto her neck. He squeezed her neck and not stopped squeezing it until she stopped breathing. He then tied up her hands, tied up her feet, and put her in garbage bags. Killa Mark, he then reopened the store and continued dealing with customers until closing hours, about 5 p.m. At this time, young Santoya was wrapped in garbage bags in Killa Mark's office. Now, later that night, sometime close to 11 p.m., when all the stores on the plaza were closed, Killa Mark, he took out Santoya's lifeless body in the garbage bags and put it in the trunk of his car. He had a plan. Now, there's a place named Cabarita River at Frome in the parish of Westmoreland. At Cabarita River, we are told that there's a sinkhole in the river. Killa Mark's plan was, if he was able to throw her body in that sinkhole, she would never be found. So he put her in the trunk of his car and drove to Frome. When he reached the Cabarita River, he took out her body out of the car. Now, you ever hear the saying, there is no perfect crime? Well, when Killa Mark took out Santoya out of the trunk of the car, she was bleeding from her nostrils, and some of the blood managed to find its way on Killa Mark's car bumper. Yeah man, the back bumper. We are learning that Killa Mark, he wasn't able to throw Santoya's body in the sinkhole as he had planned because his car was parked on the road and another motorist who knew his car was passing. The motorist stopped and shouted out to him, asking him if he was okay. Killa Mark, who was now under the bridge at the Cabarita River, he dropped Santoya's body, walked up and told the motorist that, yeah man, I'm okay. Nature called and I went to ease myself. Remember, that stretch of road is very, very dark. There is no street light. So the motorist could not see what Killa Mark was up to. So Killa Mark, he drove away. Now, let me pause for a moment and ask you this. Have you hit on the like button as yet? You have not yet hit on the like button? Please remember to hit on the like button. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, remember to subscribe to the channel. Like we said, the birthday greetings will be coming up later on PNL Vlogs TV. ensure that you go over there and subscribe. So by this time, Santoya's mother was worried sick. It was now minutes after 11 p.m. and Santoya was not at home. She made a lot of phone calls, but they all amounted to nil. So early the next morning, her mother went to the police and filed a report. She also journeyed to the Froome High School, but she was told that Santoya did not come to school that day. Later the same day, Tuesday, January 27, 2015, everyone's worst nightmare was realized. 14-year-old Santoya was found under the Cabarita Bridge by persons who had gone to use the river. An alarm was raised and the police, they were informed. Now, you remember us telling you that Santoya told at least 2 of her friends about she being involved with Killa Mark? Remember that we told you that she telling them this proved to be the turning point in the investigation? Well, one of those friends who she told an adult, and that adult passed on the intelligence to the police. Killa Mark was questioned and he told them no, he didn't know what they were talking about. Killa Mark's car, it was processed by scene of crime investigators, and bingo, blood was found on the bumper of the car. As a result, Killa Mark, he was taken into police custody. Whilst in police custody and being questioned by the police, he confessed. He told the police that he strangled young Santoya because she was blackmailing him. He also told the police that he placed her body under the Cabarita Bridge. He was arrested and charged for the offense of murder. He had a lawyer, and we are learning that he told the lawyer that he don't want to waste any time because he did it and he wanted to be punished for his action. By this time, circuit court was being held in the parish of Westmoreland. He was taken to the circuit court on Friday, February 13th, 2015. His lawyer, Mr. Herwin Smart, told the trial judge that his client wishes to waive going through a preliminary hearing and he also wishes to plead guilty. The judge, Mr. Martin Gale, he looked at Killa Mark and asked him if this was so. He replied, "Yes, my lord." The judge, he asked Killa Mark if he was being forced or promised anything to take this route. He told the trial judge, "No, my lord." He was then pleaded and he pleaded guilty to murdering young Santoya. The next week, Thursday, February 19, 2015, the judge, after hearing about how much of an upstanding citizen Killa Mark was up to the time he committed this crime, the judge sentenced him to life in prison. The judge, he stated that Killa Mark, he would not be eligible for parole until he served 25 years in prison. In other words, Killa Mark would not touch back road until he was at least 62 years old. So, Killa Mark, he was sent away to prison. But whilst in prison, he enlisted the services of another lawyer. And let me tell you something about lawyers. I notice, some of you love to bash lawyers. But what we must understand is that lawyers, they are paid to defend the interests of their clients. Lawyers, they act on the instructions of their clients. So, understand that. So the new lawyer, Mr. Lambert Johnson, he filed an appeal based on the instructions of his client. Remember now, he cannot appeal the verdict of guilty because he pleaded guilty. And when he did, he was well represented by a top-class lawyer. So he can't appeal that verdict. So his appeal was against the sentence of the court. He wanted the period of eligibility before parole to be reduced to 18 years, down from the 25 years. His lawyer, Mr. Johnson, he argued that the court had not given his client a sufficient discount when he was being sentenced, given the fact that he made an exceptionally early guilty plea. Also, given the fact that he had no previous convictions, and thirdly, he was very remorseful. Mr. Johnson, he argued that based on these three factors, his client should have been given a discount. He also argued that the sentence handed down to KILLA MARK was manifestly excessive. In response, the Crown, or the state, represented by Natalie Malcolm, she told the court that no, the aggravating factors of the murder far outweighed the mitigating factors. She insisted that if the court was to accede to KILLA MARK's lawyer's request and reduce the sentence, it would shock the nation's conscience, meaning that the people of Jamaica would be shocked. She went on to say that the only discount in sentence which KILLA MARK should benefit from was the 21 days he had spent in custody awaiting his trial. So on Friday, March 4th, 2022, the appeal court handed down its ruling. The 21 days KILLA MARK spent in custody before he was sentenced, that was shaved off his sentence. So, after 24 years, 11 months, and 10 days, KILLA MARK, he will be eligible for parole. And might I add, rightly so. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Quicksilver say, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, what a shame. But me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica.